the Voice of San Diego podcast. In partnership with News Radio 600 Kogo, I am Scott Lewis, the CEO and editor-in-chief at Voice of San Diego. The fight for La Jolla's independence is officially on. And just like many historic revolutions, it's starting with the exchange of stern letters and lots of footnotes sent over email. One woman is there to summarize these letters and all the cool news you love in your morning report. She makes it happen every day. She's the managing editor of Voice of San Diego. She is Andrea Lopez Villafana. What's up, Lopez? Hey kid, how are you?
Hey, Lewis.
Look at this crowd for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think they turned out for LAFCO.
Yeah. It's like,
Not for us.
I had a friend and they were asking me to do something tonight, and I said, well, I can't. I got the Voice San Diego Live podcast. We have the executive officer of the local agency formation commission. Don't you want to go? And she said, hard pass. What are you? Two different worlds, right? Come on. This is good stuff. He grows little ecosystems in glass jars so that he can pretend there's a world not so cluttered and unjust. A world where we are one with nature. It gives him just enough peace to face the burden of being one of the best education reporters in San Diego. He's also an excellent composer of jingles that introduce local public affairs podcasts, some of the most popular local affairs, public affairs podcasts in San Diego. He is Jakob McQuinney.
Well, Scott, I appreciate all of the pumping up of my terrarium hobby.
Yes. How are the terrariums?
You know, some are doing pretty good, some are doing very bad. But such is life. You know, every world sometimes has a vengeful God.
Yeah. Do you ever get bored and you like put in like toxins or something to mess with it? To see how it goes, if it can recover?
I have been experimenting with different kinds of creatures.
Okay.
Little creatures that I throw in there. The many are supposed to be eating the mold that tends to grow, but they seem to be slacking. I will say that.
Jakob McQuinney, everybody. And she's our social media star. She's almost as famous as I am.
Oh, wow.
She's pretty good. She likes Radiohead. She's Bella Ross! Did you bring the tarot card?
Oh, I bought tarot cards.
Oh.
Nice. Oh, I don't know if one of you who's in this room sent these to me, but they've been getting a lot of use. So thanks.
Did anyone here send her the cat tarot card? You don't have to say, but just
They arrived
probably one of you all, right?
So what was the chicken? What was the egg? Did Tchotchke, your cat, come before the cat tarot card deck, or did the cat tarot card deck, in essence, predict Tchotchke?
It literally did. The first question I asked this deck was, should I get a cat? Will I get a cat? And I got the sun, which is a very affirming card, and it had an orange cat on it. Now I own an orange cat.
I will say, asking a cat tarot card deck whether or not you should get a cat seems like there might be some bias inherent in that.
Maybe a little bit of bias.
I'm still, Scott got his palm tree in the mail, sent anonymously. Bella got her tarot cards. I'm still waiting for my Gucci.
Yeah. Somebody send you a green card.
Yeah, get right on it.
Should we all just like manifest what we want in the mail?
Yeah.
$10,000?
No.
Anybody out there?
No. That
Four
needs,
voices San Diego.
Good joke. That was good. Bella, you've done a lot of reporting about public restrooms. There's news in the daily news ecosystem right now about public restrooms. The mayor of San Diego proposes to close 26 public restrooms. Right? I mean, it feels like the definition of a cut that doesn't end up saving you much money, right?
That's right.
But I did a little toilet paper math. And each one of these restrooms, let's say it only accommodates 5 poops per day. That seems kind of low. But if it's 5 poops per day, that would be nearly 50,000 for unaccounted for poops if they close this. And I was personally attacked when the CBS story took a picture of the bathroom in La Jolla that I just happened to really need last summer after dropping my daughter off at La Jolla at the junior lifeguards. I'm worried about this. Like, people need to be able to go to the bathroom. You all go to the bathroom, don't you? Yeah! Like, what are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do? Walk a quarter mile further to the other public restroom. That's what they said in the meeting yesterday. They said we're only getting rid of restrooms that have a duplicate restroom nearby.
Okay.
So we're all gonna get our steps in, guys.
This feels like one of those monkey paw situations where everybody complains about the bathroom and like the claw curls, bathroom closed, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there has to be elasticity in bowel movements, right? Is there like, is this really, we're not going to just all use, like, what did LaCava say the other day? Joe LaCava, the city councilman.
Something along the lines of, which was apparently modeled after something that Tony Hawk said. I don't know.
Wait, what LaCava said was modeled after something Tony Hawk said?
I'm going to use a quote, and I think Tony Hawk said this first, but I'm going to adopt it.
Tony Hawk, the famous skateboarder.
Yeah, and he said that if you don't have a restroom, then the whole city is a restroom.
And if you don't have a fire pit, the whole city's a fire pit.
Well, that's what I was going to add. You know, by Tara Lawson-Reber's logic, she came on the podcast last week and said that if the city gets rid of fire pits, people should be able to bring their own. I think that people should be able to bring their own toilets to the beach now. Why not? Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You clap
Somebody
for
is
personal
logical
toilets?
here.
All right, well, there are big cuts that have to be made, balanced budgets, all those things. And it's going to get worse because everybody's mad about the trash fee, right? Well, not everybody, but the city said it was going to be $27 or so, $25 per month. It's become now $46, $47 per month.
A significant change, according to them.
Yes, a significant
Yes.
change.
A big change.
They both underestimated the number of people or overestimated the number of people they could charge and underestimated the costs. But they also said, look, you asked for all these services, the bulk trash pickup, the free containers.
You asked for RFID chips in your trash cans.
You asked for
The
smart
people were clamoring for
containers, and now we're going to have to deliver that. But the thing is, the fee will have to go up before those extra services come. Now, those of you who don't live in the city of San Diego or live in multifamily units already have to pay for trash fees. How many of you are getting no fee trash pickup right now? Yeah. How many of those are upset about the fee proposed? Yeah, a few. That's fine. Hey, it's okay. It's a lot of money. I mean, I get it. But, there's equity issues and stuff. So, we looked into the RFID things. They are going to be able to tell if you throw away batteries and stuff like that and start their trucks on fire. You know, when they start the dumpster, the truck on fire, they got to dump all the trash in the street, let it fester, and then go pick it up again. It's a real mess.
That just feels like a flex. Like, look at what you made me do.
Yeah.
Look what you did.
Which made me do.
It was interesting that those garbage trucks caught on fire just as they were talking about.
Yeah.
Suspicious.
Sus. Sus.
I always knew you had that edge to you. Like, nothing's just happening. I got it.
Well, Andrea and I listen to enough true crime podcasts that we know that nothing ever just happens.
Yeah. Bella, you've been looking into the fees for parking. You had some pushback on the Instagram. You handled it all right?
Yeah, I live to tell the tale. Met hundreds of comments saying that apparently people don't like paying for parking. I wasn't aware of that, but now I very much am.
Controversial take.
Yeah. Hot takes all around on Instagram.
Yeah. So what's the latest? Are we going to pay for parking at Balboa Park?
Well, it seems like something is
Conscientious objector over here.
Everybody else might, but I'm not. It seems like something is going to happen, for sure. The form that it's going to take remains to be seen. I spent way too long yesterday watching the Budget Review Committee meeting, and there was a lot of fervor and talk about, well, residents shouldn't have to pay to park at Balboa Park. It should be tourists. And Elo Rivera was saying that, and people on Instagram were saying that, but it's something that Elo Rivera made exceptionally clear in his statements yesterday was that tourists includes people who live outside the city of San Diego. That means people who live in Chula Vista, Carlsbad, all around the county, could come to Balboa Park. I guess you're also considered tourists.
So when you enter city limits, we'll slap some paint on you so that we know who to charge.
Right. Yeah. Something along those lines. I guess they do this at the golf courses.
Yeah.
Where like you get better rates and better tee times if you're a tourist, but you have to sign up for like a golf ID card.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy thing to have to own. Do you golf, Scott? It seems like you're familiar with this.
But you were nodding your
Finally
head.
excited. My dad golfs. He would love it if I golfed. He's listening to this right now saying, does this mean he's going to golf? I would golf with my dad, but I don't like golfing. It's hard. After the first 4 holes, I get really anxious.
Right.
Well, everybody knows when it comes to programs like this, the most efficacious programs are riddled with asterisks, right?
Right.
That's just
of
common
course.
sense.
Yeah.
Of course, the more asterisks, the more loopholes, tiers you put in, the more effective something
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of the trash fee will go on the property tax bills, right? Do you know what other fee is on the property tax bills that affects Balboa Park?
Hit us.
The zoo. Yeah, the zoo has a special tax on the property tax. The zoo makes bazillions of dollars, but we still have to pay a property tax for what the zoo does. But the zoo employees were complaining the other day that they weren't getting paid a living wage, and they were left out of the city's new tourism wage push that they put out there. They're leaving out SeaWorld and the zoo, but they're including Petco Park and the hotels. So it's like the visitor industry, except for the zoo? What's that?
Wait,
It's really-
someone said why in the audience. Do you know why?
Yeah, I have no idea. Do you? Who's the lady who was like, yes? Maybe that lady. I don't know. I think they're leaving out SeaWorld because they know SeaWorld's got money and they would like throw a fit or they made some deal with SeaWorld. I don't know. There's always some deal going on, right?
Are they worried about the animals having to pay a tax?
Yeah, the roller coasters. All right. Did you guys see the new renderings?
Yes.
Yeah?
Resounding silence for renderings.
Yeah.
Just want to
So you
register.
didn't
that.
read the morning report.
The renderings are back. So those of you who are real Voice San Diego podcast heads, you remember our focus on renderings for 10 years straight. We got renderings every month about a new Charger stadium, a floating Charger stadium, an airport in all these different places. You could have, remember the Balboa Park celebration that they were going to have in 2015? They had a rendering of this like bouncy pillow that they would put in the middle of some river in San Diego. I don't know which one, but there's a river. And there were people flying 50 feet in the air off it. It was like this weird like painting or something. And that was a rendering I really liked.
Biblical.
I wanted to put together a rendering coffee table of all the dreams that have come and died in San Diego. But we have our first new entry in I think at least 2 or 3 years about how beautiful San Diego could be if we just embrace this vision. This comes from our friends at the Prebys Foundation. They're really good people, especially when they give grants to local nonprofit news organizations. But thank you, Prebys. And I know they listen to this show, so I'm gonna dance this one well. But they released a vision of how the Civic Center, City Hall, could look if it didn't look terrible. My wife and daughter and son are going to the Hamilton concert tomorrow, and I'm gonna let them park at our building. It's right across the street from City Hall. But that one block from our building to that building is like the sketchiest one block. Like the little alley right to City Hall, it's just dark.
wow.
It's
Because of all the politicians, right?
yeah. It's all the. It is. Yes, Sean Elo Rivera's there. No. So I understand the dream of making that less scary of a thing.
I don't know. I kind of selfishly like the harsh municipal vibes. Like there's like this specific shade of yellow that only exists in government buildings that I find really like comforting. Like it's like what something that was white in the 70s that is now like this like piss yellow.
Yeah, you have to preserve like a certain. You can't make all like liminal space aesthetic go extinct, right?
Well, the renderings, so the vision includes 4,000 units of housing, a new civic theater, educational facilities, and 3 acres of public park space. But most of all, it's just easy to get to and nice and activated. I say yes, I'm in. What do we do? Should we sign up? Everybody in? Let's go. Or we can do the mayor's plan and not do that. And just maybe put up a new affordable housing complex at 101 Ash Street.
Can I say that putting out these renderings like during the budget discussions, like whose idea was that? That's like crazy timing.
Well,
but there, I talked to Scott about this, and then he shared my idea with the mayor, and to his credit, gave me credit. But he told him that I said, you got to ball on a budget.
You got to ball on a budget.
Like, do something cool. And if you can't, be smart about it. I don't know, just be creative. Do something big.
That's what I say. Like, well, I think it's really adorable that people still have hope, and I support them. I am really excited for that, and I think it's going to be great.
Scott, if you're lacking hope, boy, do I have a hobby for you. Do you have a big glass jar?
Terrarium?
Yes.
Is it really that dark?
It's pretty fun.
He is the executive director of the Local Agency Formation Commission, also known as LAFCO. They do service level studies of local agencies. If you're a neighborhood that hopes to be annexed by a city, he's your guy. If you have a dispute with an agency that you're a part of, better get on the phone with him. He is Keene Simonds. Come on up, sir. Now, I was telling people, Keene, the other day that the reason I wanted to have you on the show is because I feel like you're the kind of guy who says things that are interesting. So interesting that you're going to get fired.
Well, let's be careful.
Okay. All right. Non-denial there. Let's go through some news, and then we'll get into your areas of coverage first. So yesterday, I noticed that at 12:06 p.m., John McCann, who's running for Board of Supervisors, released an email, and the subject line was, all caps, media statement. McCann slams attempt by Board of Supervisors to raid reserves. 5 minutes later, Tuesday, 12:11 p.m., Bill Wells, the mayor of El Cajon. Subject line, media statement, all caps. Wells slams attempt to raid reserves. This will bankrupt San Diego County. Quote, Tuesday, 3:35 p.m., Paloma Aguirre for supervisor. I'm not lying. This is exactly what came into the email. Tuesday, 3:35 p.m., Paloma Aguirre for supervisor. Subject line, Paloma Aguirre slams MAGA McCann push to Doge San Diego County. Can you just take a second and think about that sentence and a year ago try to understand what it's talking about? Paloma Aguirre for supervisor. Subject line, Paloma Aguirre slams MAGA McCann push to Doge San Diego County. A lot of slams going on. Slam Diego.
Do you think that they all have like a vocab word of the day calendar, and slams just happen to be the one at the top?
I'm gonna be egocentric for a second. I posted it. I posted the two before that, and then I said like how funny it was that they both said slams. Like you can't say that you are slamming something. Like you just slammed something, and then other people say you slammed it, right? But I think, whatever, I said it was funny. I think Paloma did her slam a couple hours later so that I would include her as another slam.
So you think you inceptioned her slam?
Yeah, I think so. Are you slamming anyone?
I slam. I'm careful about it, but you got to be on top of things. So I don't blame anyone for coming out strong on reserves. I heard a comment about, or a boo. You know, these are some interesting times. As you said, Scott, the idea that a year ago these comments would be made, working in local government is a fascinating trip. Working in San Diego, you guys have the awesome job of covering this stuff. Because a lot of this stuff you just can't make up, right?
Yeah.
Just beyond fiction.
So you're a reserve. You like reserves.
It's better to have them than not, right?
Yeah, I have Voice San Diego has reserves.
And you know, there's no knock on one of the supervisors, but you had Tara Lawson-Raymer on last podcast.
Right.
You know, a good question would have been, well, you're speaking about using reserves or getting stop accumulating reserves, but the whole premise is they're there to be used right now.
Right.
You expend them now, what happens down the line?
Right.
Keene Simonds slams Voice of San Diego's interview questions.
Boom. This is a whole new media opportunity for me. So just don't talk LAFCO. I can do a lot.
No, let's go. So let's just get into this. So the reason we wanted him on is he actually does say interesting things, even though he runs the local agency formation commission. But also, this last week, he got into a little letter war with the mayor of San Diego.
That's how you got to do it these
Yeah.
days. You don't back down.
Yeah. You got, how many footnotes did yours have? Do you remember?
Quite a bit.
Quite a few, yeah. His had quite a few too. I think his were better, but
Judgment call, Scott.
the argument was that
Wait, hold on. We just got to say this. When we received the mayor's letter, which came after LAFCO decided, hey, the effort to separate from La Jolla to separate from the city of San Diego can proceed, blah, blah, blah. The mayor sent his letter. We got the letter. And all I could think, because this was like, we object to this decision and this is outrageous, you know, had all these sorts of words in it. I just pictured like this one scene from White Chicks where she's like, I'm so mad, I'm going to write a letter. I was like, this is what he did.
Now, Andrea, did you not think the word outrageous was a little much, though?
yeah,
I
so the
certainly
mayor of
did.
San Diego said that it was outrageous that you guys counted 239 signatures that weren't, he even pointed out, he said, look, some of these were illegible, some of them were wrong, and that your staff said they may have just gotten it wrong because of their cultural heritage.
Yeah.
And
That was a zinger.
that was a zinger. So what's going on? Did you put your finger on the scale to get it passed?
Absolutely not. So thank you, Scott and Voicers, for allowing me this opportunity to talk a little LAFCO to some new friends. On the topic of La Jolla, you know, the process in government can be dense. And sometimes process-oriented agencies, like LAFCO, it's not always A to B. And in this case, what happened was the good people at the ROV did an initial review. They concluded 240 signatures were flawed for whatever reason. The proponents, as their right in this state, Scott and Voicers, came to LAFCO and said, we want a challenge. Who do we take this to? Under state law, it's LAFCO.
It's you.
It's for a jurisdictional change petition, right? We're not talking about a petition to put a tax measure up, to recall someone, for a jurisdictional change, to create a brand new city. Well, that comes through LAFCO. And so the process was always going to be determined by LAFCO. Yes, the ROV was asked to do an initial review, but there was no overriding. There was no overstepping the ROV. We simply continued a process to its conclusion, and we looked at these 240 otherwise flawed signatures, and we concluded, hey, we all misspell. Hey, we all use abbreviations on street names. Is someone's handwriting perfect? No, but I could make
You
sense
could
of
readily
it.
ascertain.
And so staff, and I have a couple staff members here.
There's
we all
some
said,
LAFCO staff here?
yeah,
There we
please.
go.
There we go. At least two of them. I invited the whole staff, so I don't know why there's only two, but nevertheless. we came up and we said 240 is good. That met the threshold. We wrote a very pleasant letter. We copied the city of San Diego. Hence, as Andrea mentioned, we got a letter, understandably not happy, but I did think the word outrageous was a bit extreme.
Can we just rewind here for a second? I'm hearing this all for the first time. Are you saying La Jolla is trying to separate from the city of San Diego?
Yes,
Is that
La Jolla.
Is that
Well,
what's really happening here?
a group of citizens of La Jolla is trying to get La Jolla to separate. We don't know what La Jolla feels.
Okay, so this was the first step, right? Everybody knows this. This was the first step towards...
The first of many steps
Yes.
to simply call the question so LAFCO would do this rather intensive administrative review that we are all set up to do now, to ultimately ask the question, can the community of La Jolla as a city be self-sufficient? And importantly, Jacob, can the city of San Diego be left financially whole? And that's a key part of this whole process to come. No decisions have been made, but that, Scott, is the golden question.
Wait,
Hold
can
on.
I just ask? So I imagine as a LAFCO or like getting to do this study is like super exciting.
Yeah. Do
Like you're like
Oh, yeah.
waiting for
You
this,
guys,
like,
like-
rubbing your hands.
Well, no, I
like-
mean, I wouldn't say we were rubbing our hands.
Hold
but
on. I have some evidence that you were.
Please share. Please share.
I have some evidence that you were.
From
I-
the same friend who said
I-
hard pass on meeting me.
No.
I heard that part.
I had another associate scrolling through his Instagram, and he saw a promoted ad from LAFCO that said, hold on, I have it here. Said, La Jolla Incorporation update, signature count reached. Click here to learn more.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't
Like,
call
wait,
that
what
promotion.
is LAFCO doing advertising on Instagram? What are you doing here?
We're trying to get into a whole new field of fan base. I mean,
Yeah?
just this crowd alone is going to help us. Now, part of the discussion, of course, is, hey, what is the next step? The mayor's office, understandably, will, I think, digest the news that ultimately all was right with LAFCO. We'll move forward. We'll continue to post steps. But the big step is, again, this particular community is asking the legislature, and we act as an arm of the legislature, hey, for these reasons, we want to go our own way. The La Jolla people, and I'm not saying this is true or validate, but their argument is they feel they have put more into the system they are getting out of. And so under California law, any community can make their case. And the key, as I said earlier, is can La Jolla make their case, but at the same time, can they provide enough alimony that makes San Diego whole, and perhaps, because they need the entire city, Scott, of San Diego to approve this, we have told them from day one, you need to go beyond the minimum here. You're going to have to sweeten the pot for anyone to really take this seriously. And they're committed to it.
So maybe can you walk us through these steps? Okay, so now the would-be city of La Jolla has gathered enough signatures to move forward. What now begins is your study, correct? And then what?
So an administrative study, we look at all the city's financial documents over the last 10 years. We have to make up some very hard assumptions about what is the value of all those pipelines that
Can
are
I make a
underneath.
recommendation?
Yeah.
Don't use the analysis or the analyst who predicted how much the trash fees would cost.
Okay. Now there's another zinger. Who
Hey,
did that, by the way?
He said he was human, Scott.
He said mea culpa, yeah. We all are. Just don't use him, that's all.
When you say mea culpa, hands off.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think it's going to take us about a year to do the analysis, Jacob, to actually understand what the costs are, what the revenues may be, and then we'll present that to the commission in some draft form. State Controller's Office will likely take a look at our numbers. And at the end of the day, this commission, which has all this discretion under state law, and part of the issue that we experience, whether we're having talks with the port, San Diego County Water Authority, or now in this case, the La Jolla and the city of San Diego, is LAFCO's exercise a tremendous amount of discretion. And at the end of the day, is this proposed incorporation orderly, efficient, and ultimately fair? Yeah. There's no definition of orderly. There's no definition of fair. These are judgment calls by our commissioners who happen to be supervisors, city council members, special district members, and then me and my staff, we just give them the information and they rock with it.
So after they jump through that hoop, they have to jump through progressively smaller hoops, essentially. Then it goes to a vote of the would-be city of La Jolla, correct?
Yeah, so there's 2 votes, Jacob. So if, and this is a huge if LAFCO said, yes, your proposal to detach from San Diego and to incorporate is approved, it would be conditioned on 2 concurrent votes. Not only do the good people of La Jolla have to say yes and presumably elect a council at the same time, a second ballot that not only goes to the people of La Jolla, but the good people of the entire city of San Diego, and they are asked, yes or no, should the community of La Jolla be allowed to incorporate?
I'd like to just really quick, if we could do a little poll. I'm assuming you all live in San Diego.
I got some South Bay folks here.
Okay, well, I guess you guys can have a voice as well.
Yeah, they should weigh in. Yeah.
If you would vote yes, that the city of La Jolla, or that La Jolla should be allowed to separate from the city of San Diego and form their own city, say yes right now. Okay, that's more than I thought. Okay, so if you would vote no and say that La Jolla should not be allowed to separate from the city of San Diego, say no now.
That sounds about
That is a
right.
strong
And
response,
then there's that lady.
Yeah, I think so.
All
Well,
right.
you know, this seems like a really fun sort of activity, a sort of hobby for the La Jolla secessionists. I don't know how successful it'll be.
Well, we'll see. I do.
Yes.
Go ahead, one more.
Well, I would just say to those who said no, and again, our job at staff is simply to provide the information, but if the question is, can the city of La Jolla leave city of San Diego, and in doing so, leave a dollar amount percentage to not only make the city of San Diego whole, but to reduce their existing budget deficit, would that still be a no? I mean, if it's a win-win, or burn it to the ground. You know, we could incorporate that analysis.
Hold on. We are gonna get to the future. We have an excellent way to tell what's gonna happen in San Diego. What's that? Repatriate. That's right. Yeah, give it back.
Land back, huh?
Give it back to the Kumi. Okay, let's go to the actual prediction of what's going to happen in the future. The tarot.
Yeah. Who needs the democratic process when you have the cat tarot aren't
Do you have a tarot
This worked
process
with the
at
cat.
LAFCO?
We might now. I
Yeah.
like this. I like where it's going.
All right.
I like slow
Are
playing
you a
the tarot
believer?
cards.
All right. So this is a very important. Everybody needs to.
You should knock on this. This is the process.
It's a very scientific process. It requires
Right, so
a
what's the
great
question?
degree of
The
delicate.
opposite. It's
You have to ask a
spiritual.
question.
Yeah, Scott, how do you phrase this? It's very important.
Mr. Cat. Will La Jolla separate from the city of San Diego?
Okay. That's...
Whoa.
Okay. We have the Knight of Pentacles. You have a cat sitting at a table waiting to be fed. We have the Queen of Pentacles, a cat playing with some kind of like brain nurturing food bowl. And we have
Nurturing food bowl.
You've never seen those?
A maze?
It's like that. it nurtures their brain.
Yeah, it
and
nurtures
also
their brain.
nutritionally. And the King of Cups. This looks just like tchotchke.
We've had the King of Cups before.
We've had the King of Cups. Honestly, I feel like this is like it's pretty positive, and we're like assuming from La Jolla's perspective.
Yeah.
I would say maybe yes.
Straight up yes?
I don't know about straight up yes, but like a
Like it's
maybe.
looking good?
It's looking positive. Things are going to happen for sure. You know, you've got a maze of bureaucracy ahead of you.
Hey,
How to navigate.
a maze of bureaucracy.
Okay, everybody, one more time. Everybody who would vote no, say no now.
Okay.
I like my odds.
Jen, do we have a first winner by chance? Yes. All right, let's do that. So the winner, Who has an update of the game? Did they walk it off? In extras? Gosh. All right. The winner of the Jackson Merrill signed Major League Baseball is Danielle Roybal. She here?
Hey, Daniela.
Hey!
Woo!
Look at that. Conveniently in the first row.
I'll send you back there, but come on, please. Do you mind participating in a game real quick? Do you think we should let Danielle do this with us? Okay. So this is true or false. You've heard of that? Okay. First of all, tell us about yourself. Where do you come visit us from?
Carmel Valley, Del Mar. I ran for school board in Del Mar Union School District.
There we go.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, that's how you learn, right?
Twice.
Well, how many times did Micah Geary lose? He lost a lot, didn't he? I think if you lose 3 times, you're starting to get in trouble. 4, you kind of need to go away.
Or you're just learning a lot, right?
But what's that?
Or you're just learning a lot.
Yeah, you're just learning a lot. Okay, true or false? I'm going to say some things, and you're going to say whether they're true or false. Even though we only have an average of 10 inches of rain per year, San Diego actually has too much water and wants to sell it.
There. I'm kidding.
Oh, gosh.
You have to have a sense of humor.
You got me.
False.
True. Yeah, we have an abundance of water. In fact, it's causing a lot of trouble. We secured all these water resources with these massive investments, and now we're paying them off, but fewer people are buying the water. Gary Arendt, the general manager of the Valley Center Water Authority, recently wrote, "Yes, we do have a surplus of water right now, and unfortunately, the debt service, operational, and maintenance costs of our regional water importation supply and infrastructure remain." In other words, they got to keep paying things even though fewer people are paying them money. All right, next one. Taking water right here from the ocean and making it potable costs 3 times less than importing water hundreds of miles from the Colorado River and Sacramento Delta. True or false? Come on now.
I'm going to use a lifeline.
Okay. I didn't specify there wasn't. Okay, how many people think that seawater desalination is cheaper by 3 times than imported water? True? Yeah, good job. Are you a fan of Jackson Merrill? Are you going to enjoy this? He was great. He is great. Okay. Bob Filner died a few weeks ago. The Union Tribune, in its obituary of the former San Diego mayor, listed several supposed accomplishments, including that he, quote, set aside money for a centennial event at Balboa Park. That $2 million that he set aside helped create a big, glorious celebration of the 100th anniversary of the 1915 party that transformed San Diego, the Panama, California Exposition. Is it true or false that event created a big, glorious celebration of the 100th anniversary of the 1915 party?
No. No cheaters out there.
True or false?
You were so factual in your delivery of that statement, I'm going to say true.
Guys, it's false, Danielle. That turned out to be a terrible boondoggle, and I'm actually kind of shocked. Did you guys read the obituary of Bob Filner and the UT? It was weird. There was that whole paragraph in there about all the things he supposedly accomplished. One of them was a 5-year labor deal. You signed a labor deal. Okay, good job. And the other one was this that he set aside money for a party that turned out to be scandalously unplanned and didn't happen. $2 million down the drain. That's the accomplishment. All right.
Scott Lewis slams dead mayor.
All right, you are doing poorly here, Danielle. Let's get it back on track.
That's why I didn't win the election. That's why I didn't win the election.
Okay. I'm on TV and radio every week, but Bella Ross is only occasionally on TV. True or false?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens when I become more famous than you, Scott? Are you still gonna make jokes like
counting
this?
on it. I'm just hoping you'll take me along. Okay, Arizona State University has acquired the Times of San Diego news site. True or false?
True.
It's true. Big ASU is coming, folks. Any ASU alum here? It's okay, you can say it. Or they just have timeshares here?
You got to stop torturing Danielle.
I'm sorry.
Save some for our next winner.
Should we do it the same one? All right. Everybody, congratulations to Danielle. You go back there to get your, oh, there you go. There's your ball. All right. Why, you guys are just messing with I was having so much fun. All right, Keene, talk to me about water. You guys do, one of the other jobs that you have is what's called a service level analysis, right?
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Close enough. Municipal service review, Scott.
A municipal service review. That sounds fun. You got to do it after you turn 45, right?
It is part of the deal.
That's a colonoscopy joke. I'm sorry for you
well,
young
they're not
people.
50 yet.
All of us
Very
are too
clever.
young.
Yeah, cool. I'm so young. I have so much fun. So now you go and kind of audit these agencies and see
Yes.
if they're supposed to be doing. If you did one of the water authority right now, would you say they should tear it apart like the council member Shawnee Rivera is saying?
Yeah, I don't know if we'd go there, but I would say, and I think we have said, Water Authority's got some challenges, right? It's not going to get any better for them. Now, they got a really good general manager, and I listened to your podcast, Dan Denham.
Did anybody listen to the water interview?
Yeah, no, he was awesome, as you were.
We went deep. Yeah.
So they've got
Come on, that
at
was
least
good.
someone in there.
That's so
He went
good.
deep into the pool. No, he's good. They're a lot better off with him, I would say, than their past managements because he's actually acknowledging, as you pointed out, desal, maybe a good idea back then, maybe not so much. now.
Desalination is 3 times as expensive as the imported water, and he basically admitted it was a mistake.
Yeah.
But
That in of
I don't
itself,
think- I
as
don't
you
think-
said, how big of a change is that, right?
well,
For them
I have a
to say
question.
that.
So there are all these water agencies around town, and I've heard for decades, literally 20 years, people saying that there should not be this many water agencies doing the same thing. They should consolidate. They should have some sort of way to understand that they don't need to duplicate their services, that they don't need, there's got to be a lot of waste, if not corruption, layered in all these different things. If you just had it smoothed out and centralized, it would work better. Is that something you can do at the local agency formation commission?
You could, but here's the rub on that, Scott. Anytime, just like when people want to build development near someone else, the concept of, character, local control, all that stuff comes into play. And so, yeah, on a macro level, you can make that.
Democracy, you mean?
Democracy. It's messy. It's ugly. A lot of times it doesn't work, but it usually does in this sense. You get the government that you deserve, and for the most part, people are happy with their smaller water districts.
So, is there any chance that you are going to issue any cool municipal service level analyses soon?
Absolutely. So Priscilla Mumpower, who's in the front right there.
Is Priscilla Mumpower here?
She's
I've
there.
talked to her a few
She's
times.
actually from
Let's go,
Arizona
Priscilla.
State University, and I was surprised she
Are
didn't
you
acknowledge
serious?
that.
She was suspiciously quiet.
Are
So-
you taking over local media or not? Okay.
But here's the issue. Priscilla's going to issue a report soon on the County Water Authority. As you said, it's our audit. We do this every so often. Happens we haven't done one on the Water Authority in decades. And so there's going to be some hard questions that we are going to ask. I don't anticipate us using our legislative hammer and actually initiating a fundamental change. I think
Now,
that
could you, if you guys
Yeah,
looked
we
at
could.
it? You could?
But everything's subject to voters' approval. And so the better approach in our mind is let's identify some options to go forward, let it have an organic discussion. But I do think Council Member Elo Rivera, he brought up good points. I think Dan gave a good response in addressing them. It's a dynamic issue. Water is definitely dynamic in this part of the world. And hey, you got a desal plant. Unless you find a willing buyer, it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't want to buy it.
Well, you got
I
a
already
dollar
did, I
in
guess.
30 years. Well, yeah, you actually
I'm
did.
a 1/3, 3 millionth shareholder. I would
You
guess,
are.
yeah.
You are. Take pride in that.
I wanted to ask you as well. So you had this little row with the port of San Diego. You wanted to exercise some level of oversight of the port. Did you succeed?
We succeeded, and it was always, to me, and just for the benefit, the port was created, or for the benefit of the audience, the port was created as a special district many years ago, back in the earliest 1960s. For whatever reason, my predecessors at LAFCO did not recognize it as a district, but the more we kept hearing about it, the more we kind of started questioning ourselves and saying, well, why isn't it subject to LAFCO? One thing led to another, and over the last few years, we finally kind of called the question on a unanimous vote. Commission said, hey, if you look like a port or look like a district, you probably are, and now we are actually going to start our own audit of the port coming up.
Okay.
Are bureaucrats like very afraid of you? Like when you come into a room, they're like,
No. I mean, there's definitely maybe an Andy Garcia internal affairs effect, if you remember that movie from the early 1990s. But
please elaborate. I watch a lot of movies, but I can't say I've seen that one.
okay, well, it's a good movie. But the idea of LAFCO is not that we go in looking for problems, right? We're really looking just to see what are the things that are working, what can work better, and then we try to inform the community as to your options. For example,
Is it like the grand jury? You guys all know the county grand jury, not the criminal grand jury, but the county grand jury. Has anybody been on it? There's a few probably have been on it. All they do is like they get together. I've spoken in front of them, and they issue a report, and the report, they say like, hey, they shouldn't have this many streetlights, or people are being suspended too many times in school or something, and then the agency has to say, yeah, good point, and that's all. They're required to respond, but they're like, hey, excellent point.
Yeah, excellent point, and we'll move on.
Yeah. Is that how you are?
No. The grand jury plays an important role in that they have the ability to actually require a local agency, city, county, special district, to actually respond by threat of a criminal penalty, respond on letterhead to whatever the recommendation. Maybe, Jacob, they say we don't agree, but they still have to respond. So there is a value in the grand jury process. What LAFCO does that is different is LAFCO ultimately exercises this planning capacity, right, to audit an agency, but has the ability to actually initiate our own applications in many ways. We also have the ability to bring in experts. Grand juries usually are kind of just self-provided. They tap into their own expertise and they produce a report. What LAFCO does is we hire the best that we can find on a particular topic. One of your articles correctly pointed out, we've got Bill Fulton, used to be Bob Filner's planning director. He's working with us on a audit of Sandag. We've got some great people working for us to deal with the County Water Authority. So LAFCO staff brings these resources together, we produce a report, and things happen.
Well, one of the areas that it's really interesting is the concept of building in the unincorporated areas of the community. It's kind of hard to in some parts of that, but if some of those areas become parts of cities, it's maybe a little easier for those developers. So those developers come to you and say, or the city comes to you and says, hey, we'll take that plot of land, and it makes it easier to build, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind, it is the state's planning policy that growth go into cities, right? So the idea that growth occurs in any substantive density outside of cities is actually against the construct of state planning law. So LAFCO is in the business of figuring out how do we get development pre or post, right, before it's developed or after, into cities. And we also have a very distinct mantra that, in the Gordon Gekko framing, that growth is good. It's important for the state's social and economic well-being. The key for LAFCO is it orderly? Is it efficient?
So one of the things that's been interesting in recent years, and you kind of referenced it in your talk of the port, there had been for years concerns that the port was not really meeting the standards that LAFCO has set. And our employee, our awesome environment reporter, Mackenzie Elmer, has written kind of about you and about how LAFCO is kind of coming into its own and turning over a new leaf, potentially becoming more assertive. What is behind that?
Yeah, I think it's the assertiveness is what you're seeing in all city councils and county government. Look at the changes in the Board of Supervisors. Look at your city council members. They're coming in, they don't have the same pathologies as their predecessors, and they're no longer saying, well, that's the way we did it, so that's the way we're going to do it. So whether it's our staff or city council staff or city staffs or county staff, we're all dealing with this sea change of new elected officials who are coming in, and they know they've got term limits, so they are charging. Right? They are charging to get their programs in. They're charging to get their sound bites in. And LAFCO is reacting to that, right? And so there you see our proactivity.
Got it. Should we give away another Padres signed ball? Yeah. All right. The Manny. All right. The winner of the signed Manny Machado baseball is Mariah Saldana. She here? There she is. Oh no!
Look at that. It was caught. It was caught. No worries, Mariah.
It's okay. Come on. Oh, she's so excited.
Really exciting. Yeah.
Are you a Manny Machado fan?
I am a Manny Machado fan, and I'm here to get this baseball for my best friend.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
What's your best friend's name?
Ichao Gu. She's not here tonight. She wouldn't come, but she will listen.
Why wouldn't she come? She's not a fan of LAFCO? Yeah.
Keene, don't take it personally.
Keene cost us a reader. Do you have a question for us, or do you want to answer questions, or do you want to just leave? It's okay.
Can I still get the baseball if I just leave?
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Mariah. Does anyone? Good job. Don't knock anybody over, please. Here.
I don't think he was asking you.
Come on. Why wouldn't I want to be in a? I'm the.
He likes Manny Machado.
Good job, Mariah. There we go. Does anybody want to give me one of them? My daughter would love that. All right. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask?
Got a question.
You do? All right, come right over here. Come over here. Oh, that's okay. I'll come to you. All right, hold that for her.
Thank you, Jacob. I really want to ask on this audit of the port, are you going to go back historically and look at the role of politicians in local areas, especially in the South County area, historically?
Well, so the question is, would LAFCO, as part of this municipal service review, look beyond the current horizon and look back perhaps at their board members and decision-making for past communities? Yes, indirectly, in that a core objective of LAFCO when we do these reviews is, why was this agency created? What was the intention? And today, are they meeting that intention? Are there reasons why it's evolved, why it's expanded? And ultimately, it goes to this accountability question that the legislature wants to ask. And I think in your question, hey, we are aware that there are some concerns. National City has voiced them about the fairness, perhaps, in decision-making. We don't get into current issues like that, but we will certainly look at the holistic, hey, is this agency doing what it was intended to do?
Got it.
And in Chula Vista.
And in Chula Vista. I will take another question, but you have to answer some of mine if you want it. Anybody want one? Got one? Huh? Yes. All right, come on up. Come on up. Come on up here. Oh, I see. Hey, how are you, Levi? Come on up here. Levi, introduce yourself.
Hi, you guys. I'm Levi Giaflioni, housing advocate in San Diego.
You might remember I interviewed Levi for a good hour, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? That was good. Your history, great story. Okay, I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
But I still get to ask.
Yeah, you get to ask one, yeah. You can ask of anybody here, not just Keene. Yeah, I mean, I have lots of interesting questions to be asked. All right, before former City of San Diego COO Eric Dargan was fired, Mayor Todd Gloria eliminated his position. We heard rumors he was on his phone playing Angry Birds during meetings. True or false?
False.
False, actually. We heard he'd been falling asleep during meetings. The City of San Diego is planning on adding RFID chips to new garbage bins that will allow the city to track when it contains... Oh, I gave this one away, didn't I? It's true, huh?
Yeah, true.
Or leave it. Yeah. All right, which city attorney said this to a city council member? I don't give a flying fuck if you fire me. I will not take this lying down anymore. You're a bully. You've been harassing me for months, and I've tried to be professional. This is enough. San Diego City Attorney Heather Ferber, National City Attorney Barry Schultz, Poway City Attorney Alan Fenstermacher, or D, El Cajon City Attorney Morgan Foley.
Schultz?
All right, everybody, which one is it? Say Poway. Yeah, Poway is intense right now. Is anybody here from Poway? Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Poway's intense. What are you doing up there? There's a lot of cool parks and stuff, but you guys don't need to fight that much. All right, lastly, this is a question for very loyal Morning Report readers. A few weeks ago, a man was arrested at the border for attempting to smuggle exotic parakeets native to Mexico and Central America. Where was the man hiding those poor birds? Come on now.
And I can't even hear you guys at all, but I'm gonna guess suitcase, because...
Oh, all right, anybody want to say? His boots, that's right. Sally got it, there we go.
Those boots were not made for walking.
No, parakeets, evidently.
Yeah, that's bad. Boo.
Oh, come on.
I think they were booing the torture of the poor birds. I mean,
Okay. I'll accept that, boo.
And your bad joke.
No. We have to get back on the train for puns, okay? Puns are worthy.
Levi definitely, he's got some great social media feeds. He's probably got a really good question. What is it?
Okay, so as far as the, obviously affordable housing in general is a big issue in San Diego. We know that La Jolla can be kind of resistant to that, despite having a workforce that works low-income wages. Would La Jolla breaking off as its own city require them to meet the housing requirements from the state?
Good question, Levi. The answer is
Everybody
yes.
say Levi, thank you very much.
So yes, as to Levi's question, if you become a city, you get all the benefits and the challenges. And one of those challenges is, Scott, you've got to come up with your own adopted and certified housing element. You got to at least plan for it.
Or they could just come up with one that they won't ever do and then just resist it, right?
I've heard that does happen occasionally.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you one last chance for a question for me or Keene. Yes, sir, come on up. What's your name?
Tom.
Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Pacific Beach.
PB! So when I moved here, PB was filled with either really advanced aged people or really young people. But then the pandemic happened, and now it doesn't feel like even young people can be there. But you're there. Congratulations. How's it going?
It's going great.
Come now.
It's going great. I mean, every day I see very attractive couples pushing children in strollers, and I would love for that to be me and my fiance someday.
Sounds right.
Okay.
Good luck. That'd be fun. Yeah, I hope you can make it.
It's really smooth.
All right, what's your question?
So, who will decide the borders of the new city of La Jolla? Because I've seen provisional maps where they very conveniently cut out UCSD, where they leave that out because I know they're a nonprofit. They don't pay property tax. So they would leave that that entire burden on the city of San Diego, conveniently just kind of cutting it right out of what their city would be.
Well, and also, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are a lot of people that work at UCSD. Were UCSD to be included in this proposed city of La Jolla, they would then be subject to producing much, much more housing than they would otherwise.
Everybody,
Is that
let's hear it for
correct?
Tom, huh?
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's a good question, Tom. Yeah, that outstanding question, Tom. So LAFCO ultimately decides the boundaries, and as you pointed out,
Oh, so you can change the ones they sent you.
We could. Now here's the deal, as the youngins would say. The reason why UCSD has been discluded from the proposed boundary is, and I'm not saying it's good or bad, but the proponents feel that having a transient registered voter base would cause havoc on city elections. All right.
Isn't that sad? That would be so sad to have the transients messing with everything.
Yeah. Well, point taken. But they are including the Torrey Pines Golf Course in State Park. So I thought that was a fair trade when I heard it. I really did.
Do we know the population at UCSD versus the population of La Jolla at large?
I don't know UCSD, but I know the proposed boundary for La Jolla is about 40,000. So I don't know how big UCSD is.
UCSD has 50,000 students or something, just shy of that, but they don't all live there.
So I think that the last Nobel Prize I saw that went to UCSD scientists, they said scientists in La Jolla won the Nobel Prize, but now they'd have to say San Diego at least, right?
Indeed.
It's not like they'd say college area scientists won the
Well, this is the whole rub, right? I mean, for decades, for generations, La Jollans have nursed this delusion that they are separate from the city, that they are part
or
of.
an aspiration.
I like to think it's a delusion.
This is fun. Who's got another question? You got one? Come on up.
Watch out for that camera.
Is that a Voice of San Diego beer? All right, tell us your name.
My name's Ramses.
And where are you coming from?
I'm from Alpine, East County.
Alpine, there we go. What do you think of the Voice San Diego 20th anniversary beer?
It's not bad.
I'll take it. That's fine. Thank you. All right, what's your question?
Oh yeah. So what do we know about what do you call it? The deportations and stuff. We know that UCSD has had one deportation and a bunch of student visas revoked. But as someone that has a permanent resident father who's not a citizen but not a Mexican citizen, 100%. What do we know about what the future of those people are going to look like in San Diego? Who's going to deport them? Who's going to deport them? Who do we got to look out for? What do we got to know?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming. I don't know. Yeah.
Scott hates it when he doesn't know the answer to something.
I don't know. Well, that's a scary one to not know the answer to. Hey, thanks for coming. Everybody, let's hear it. Alpine.
I think one of the big problems with this whole situation in regards to folks who are undocumented is just how much we don't know. I mean, that's one of the things that the Trump administration has done.
Well, they're not even talking about undocumented, too. We're talking about
Sure.
people who are not here with anything less than citizenship.
Sure.
Right?
But the Trump administration has done an incredible job of injecting. Should we?
Oh, Wendy, you want to come up?
Yeah.
Come on up.
Come on up, Wendy.
It looks like she does not want to talk.
Our great partners at Cal Matters, one of their reporters, Wendy Fry, is here. Come on up, Wendy.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are
Good to see
you? Nice to see you too.
I've known Wendy for 20 years or so.
Yeah, a long time.
Here,
We're old.
You can
Okay.
stand right here.
Okay.
So tell us what you have learned about both this case and other things that are going on.
So there's quite a lot going on in California. Okay. So hi. We've been doing a lot of reporting on sweeps and raids in California, in Kern County. Also, there was another one in Pomona this past week. And the courts are slowing down what the Trump administration wants to do in California, at least. So we've seen judges put limits. In fact, the quote from the judge this last week was, "You can't just walk up to brown people and ask them to see their papers." And so that's a big limit. They are slowing them down, right? But the other huge trend that's like extremely concerning is the targeting of, like you guys mentioned, legal residents, people who have status here in the United States. So foreign exchange students came legally. People with temporary protected status came legally. And we're seeing the Trump administration try to take that legality away from people, which is something I think we all really want to keep an eye on, because, the question is, how far will they go with this? Who is next? Who might else they try to take their legality away?
The scary part is that they're literally the only ones who know right now what they're trying to do. Right?
Right, yeah. And so with the SEVIS termination, specifically to this gentleman's question about the SEVIS terminations and about the foreign exchange students, so we did see a judge try to slow down the Trump administration on that, and then we saw the Trump administration walk it back and say, okay, we're going to instruct ICE to reinstate their SEVIS for now. Now, what I know from covering the Trump administration 1.0 is that he never backs away for good. So he might retreat, but he's retreating to try to figure out how he can do this legally. We saw hundreds of students across the UC system be threatened by this, lose their SEVIS termination. A lot of them filed federal paperwork to try to stop an injunction, like a habeas corpus, to try to stop the deportation. But one thing that we are looking at very closely at the markup, we merged with the markup, is how they got on their radar, how these folks got on ICE's radar, which it's not just necessarily that they've had some kind of contact with the criminal justice system. There are people in there who have just had their fingerprints taken, like if they needed to go into mental health services. They've had their fingerprints taken for that, and then they were somehow flagged in some kind of database or system that ICE has to have their SEVIS terminated and have their legality taken away.
Well, it's something we're going to be following, and you're following as well. Wendy Fry from Cal Matters, thank you.
Incredible.
Thanks for coming. Andrea, anything you want to add?
There is a lot of uncertainty. For those of you who don't know who are in the room, I'm a recipient of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which means my parents brought me to the U.S. when I was a young child, overstayed our visas. So I am a beneficiary of this program, which basically allows me to get a work permit, and which I have to renew every certain amount of years. And basically think about it as like you're traditionally put at the bottom of a deportation list. Doesn't mean you can't be deported, but you're just not seen as a priority. So I would just say, yes, there is a lot of uncertainty, but one thing is we've always lived in that uncertainty. Like the possibility of you being deported is not something that is maybe now it's more known, more talked about, more in your, Facebook feed or whatever. But that's always been a possibility for myself and my family members. So I would just say, whatever you can to do to support those who are facing those challenges. I shared with a lot of the people in the newsroom my story. I've shared with Scott that I haven't been able to see my mom since Christmas because she lives in LA. She's undocumented. I'm undocumented, and she's afraid to go through the checkpoint. So it's just been rough. So just support those who are sort of in this weird space right now.
Anyone else? This is kind of fun. I'll do another. You got one? Come on up, Felix.
Jacob.
Hey, how are
Scott,
you?
how's it going, man? Good. To see you again.
Tell everybody what's your name.
I'm Brian. I grew up in San Carlos. I live in Point Loma now. Just pivoting to lighter fare. I love you guys bringing us together and nerding out on stuff like LAFCO. When can we look forward to the first Voice of San Diego softball tournament?
There was a picture of me playing softball as a child in a recent
Did you guys see that?
newsletter. It was like it was a limited run newsletter. I don't know, but I just feel like it should be on the record that I was really bad.
Would you guys be into that? We could do like an August softball tournament. That'd be fun, right? Everybody put a little team together, raise money for independent journalism. I'm in. Brian, thank you. Everybody, thank you so much to come. Keene Simonds from LAFCO. I kid her because she's a really special person who's going to be a big star someday. I just hope that she shines in my sky. Bella Ross. Lopez. Every day she works so hard to make sure that everything you guys care about, all these reporters are taken care of, all the products that you guys like are out there, and she handles a lot of sticky things that you don't have to worry about because she's so competent at it. So that's Lopez. There we go. And Jacob McQuinney, one of the most naturally gifted writers I've ever worked with, and a great education reporter, also a music and theme music composer of the Voice San Diego podcast. Jacob McQuinney. Stick around, buy some more beer. We'll be around and huddle. And this has been the Voice San Diego podcast, the most popular public affairs podcast recorded in the soda bar this week. Thanks for coming.